Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I want to talk about The Devil's Red Bride, written by Sebastian Girner, with art by John Bivens, colors by Iris Monaghan, and the letters by Jeff Powell. And I made a point in mentioning all these people because we don't get a lot of samurai stories, and especially good samurai stories. And what these four people managed to pull off here needs to be celebrated and praised because, as the title suggests, The Devil's Red Bride is a bloody masterpiece. Published by Vault Comics, and I do want to give a shout out to Vault actually for choosing their name. There's this stupid idea, incredibly illogical, that comic book shop owners stack their books up in alphabetical order, so the publisher's name needs to be as close to the letter A as possible. So we've got Aftershock, Ablaze, so many studios trying to get in front in such a stupid manner because of course that doesn't matter. Batman isn't put out in front because it's the letter B, it's because it sells. But I don't know, someone said it, a bunch of people picked it up, and it actually caught on, and we see this. I mean, there's evidence of this, and it's weird to me. It's also funny. I mean, it's not something very serious, but I do want to give a shout out to Vault for sticking to their guns and picking the letter V here. Okay, now back to The Devil's Red Bride. As always, I want to start off by showing off the covers for each issue. This was a 5-issue miniseries, and the first cover I have here is a variant done by Nathan Gooden and Tim Daniel. And starting with issue 2, all the covers I have are done by the artist himself, John Bivens. And I've mentioned this before, I do enjoy comic book covers a lot because the good ones anyway do tell awesome stories and do show off the story inside in a very well manner. And like I said, here is the final issue, issue number 5. The Devil's Red Bride tells us the story of Ketsuko Aragami. When her mother was killed, her father, the lord of the Aragami clan, remarried and had a son, which by right should inherit the leadership of the family. His son, however, is weak and does not want all that responsibility. Ketsuko, on the other hand, isn't and wants to help, but because this is Japan in the 1700s, of course she can't. Who ever heard of a woman leader? Problems arise, however, because the Aragami clan are at war against the Kamimura, and someone has to lead the soldiers. The Aragami children do find a solution to that problem, and we start seeing The Devil's Red Bride incredible focus on action. This is an incredibly intense series. This is a story about samurai, and the samurai are at war. I called it a bloody masterpiece because that's what it is. The Red Devil of Aragami paints the pages of the story in red, and John Bivens and Iris Monaghan deserve all the praise for showing us how intense all these fights could actually be. The story jumps 3 years into the quote-unquote present, after the war has ended and left its mark. And here we see Ketsuko as she will act as a guide for the last group of Ronin from the Aragami clan in their last mission against the Kamimura. And Sebastian Girner finds a way to move the story between the two timelines in such an incredible manner because, as I've mentioned, this is a very intense and very action-driven story, but it's never to the point of becoming tiresome. It always knows when to take its breaks. So, for example, the action during the war is top notch, very intense, level 10. Then we'll move in the next page to the present tense where our characters just move along and talk. Then they start having a fight, and again it raises the bar, the action goes up again, but only for a bit as the story goes back to the 3 years prior, and we get a break there, and it's moving between these two so well. And again, it never becomes tiresome because the action does get so intense. We couldn't keep it up for the whole story. We do need these breaks, and again Sebastian Girner finds amazing ways to insert these breaks whenever they're needed. I have seen some slight complaints about all this jumping back and forth, and while I don't think it's such a big issue, I can understand people having problems following all the action in the stories because there is one more element to this. You see, Ketsuko also is possessed by a devil. Sebastian Girner is doing the whole selling your soul to the devil thing to receive power and whatnot. And the devil inside her is a character in and of himself with a lot of talking. He has a lot to say. For example, right here we can see all the red speech bubbles are the devil talking, and there are some instances where, for example, prior to this, we saw what was happening in the present, and stuff was going down. I can't even show you the pages because it's way too brutal, and I don't know all the YouTube rules, but I'm not gonna show them. So here we go back to the 3 years prior timeline, where again stuff is about to go down, and again we are getting even more action. So we have to juggle the two timelines, the different action pieces, as well as read all the dialogue from the characters, which would be fine, no problem there because they're the ones doing the action. But the devil comes in, the demon inside Ketsuko, and he is talking, and sometimes beside what is going on there. And again, I can understand the issues in following these three separate things there. And what I did actually, I read the action sequences, read the speech bubbles from the characters, and then I went back and read the demon's dialogue. It became way easier to follow the story that way. And I would say this is mainly a problem in the second issue because it's so accentuated there. over time, the story finds its pacing way easier, and it gets easier to follow. And again, a minor complaint here, and I cannot stress how minor that complaint actually is, because honestly, this story is so close to actual perfection. Thinking back, there isn't a single page, and I went through them again. There isn't a single page in this that I did not enjoy. Seriously, The Devil's Red Bride is amazing, and I mentioned the action because there's a lot of it, but we also see amazing character development. We don't only see action and fighting for fighting's sake. Every single fight leaves a mark on the characters, especially on Ketsuko. Heck, even when she doesn't fight, she receives certain marks literally, because the demon inside her always asks for blood. So if she isn't killing someone, she cuts herself, and we see her cut up body with all these scars. And again, there's so much story there, and it makes for such an interesting character, and the story keeps on moving and escalating, and we see actual progression there, and there's never a dull moment, and there's never a oh, how did they get here. Everything makes sense, and it's done in an amazing manner, and it's really cool. I mean, Todd McFarlane had an interview, and he was talking about selling toys, and about how boys like cool stuff, and he was joking that you can't get a boy a action figure of a woman character because those don't usually sell, you know. And of course, he said it as a joke. A lot of people jumped on him. Of course, it was all very performative and beside the point. But his main point was that cool stuff sells. And I'm telling you, the Devil's Red Bride, Ketsuko here, she's a very cool character. This needs to get continued. I do hope Sebastian Girner gives us a second issue, because the story definitely ends with that possibility, and I do hope Vault Comics does more with this. Uh, I'm telling you, if we'd got action figures of Ketsuko here, they would look amazing. And if one series deserves it, it definitely is this one. Again, this is getting my highest recommendations, my highest praise. This was one of the most entertaining and the best stories I've read. Please, whatever you do, the story is available in a trade paperback. I think you can also get the issues. You can still get the issues. However you get it, please get this and read it, and I promise you will not be disappointed. And that was my review of The Devil's Red Bride by Sebastian Girner. I did videos highlighting various indie comic series, and I'm telling you, this is definitely one of the best of them. However you manage to do it, please get it. Get it for the intense action, get it for the amazing characters, get it for the cool twists at the end. Just get it, read it, and I promise you, you'll enjoy it. just as I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit the like button, maybe subscribe to the channel. I promise I'm gonna have more reviews soon, and I'll definitely show more of my comic book collection. Until then, I'll see you all next time. Bye.